Hey everybody, Andy here, Poverty Prospecting. I've been playing with my OPAL. As you can see, after the cooking process, not a lot gets in there. A little bit disappointing, but it's showing up the colour. Once I've sliced these with my diamond saw, they'll probably need a second treat. That's just one big slab I've been playing with. This bit here has a little colour bar going through the guts. I'm trying to chase it at the moment to try and find where it is, and keep carving at that one. I'll show you my equipment later, add it to this long video, but yeah, getting there. These are a few of the chips that have been cut off. As you can see, it's all basically just lots and lots of fine material through it. But they'll need to be treated again. These are all the offcut sort of cuts that I've done. In this jar I've got a couple that I've sort of finished playing with, but need to try and cook these again, I think, to bring the colours out. So this tiny little one, it's got some nice colour in it. The black part has still soaked up all the carbon, but doesn't seem to sink in very deep. This little one's come up quite well. It's still got a little bit of sand and shit on top, which I'll have to get my Dremel out and have a go at. Just a slab of rock on the back, but that should clean up quite nice. A couple of these ones, this one I haven't really finished playing with, but you can see the masses of colour through them and quite pretty. So hopefully they'll turn out alright. These ones I've sort of been polishing, rubbing back, smoothing the edges off. As you can see, it just looks like a big piece of concrete that's been set, and it's got all this colour bar through it. So it's amazing how it seeps into all the sand and just turns it beautiful. So this is a big slab that I've been working on, polishing. As you can see, there's a fair bit of colour sort of popping out around that end there, and this bar, the end here, this part here, can't really see it, the sun's not out at the moment, but it's got a lot of red flash through it. So hopefully that'll clean up real nice. It's got some big green bars and some red flash through it. That'll make a nice jewellery piece, big and chunky. So I think it'll come up quite well. And then I've got a few little cabs that I've been making, tiny little slithers that have got some colour through them, but just practicing to see how thin I can go on them. And once these are treated again, basically all the sandy coloured rock will turn black like that, and then hopefully all the colour will pop out of it. So tiny little pieces. This bit, same, it's got a nice little flash of colour on it, and hopefully they'll turn into some nice little jewellery pieces. I'm going to have to cook them again and again, but this bit here, it's another big chunk, but hopefully they're going to really pop when they're cooked again. It appears that the solution doesn't really soak in that deep. I don't have a pressure cooker to cook them under pressure, so just doing what I can do. I might have to treat them 3 or 4 times, but they do come out quite nice, don't they? Even in their raw form, they don't look too bad. They've got a bit of intrigue to them. I'm going to send a few of these pieces and a few of the rocks and agates and bits and pieces that I've got, and send them over to Colin at Meteorite Mac and let him have a bit of a play. Now this is the one that I cut this off the end. It had a green and a red and a green and a red and a green and red sort of band through it. It's still there if you look at that. You can see it down the side there. But it's going to need another treat because it's been polished big time. But I think that's going to make a nice stone because of how impregnated that colour bar is through it. I wish the sun was out a bit more, but you can see as you're cutting it, reminds me of the old Omo ad with the piece of chalk. It gets into the outer, but some of these bits, when you carve them up, it's amazing what you find inside them, because like even that one's got a fair bit. So kind of hoping that I've still got a lot of material, so I'm just going to keep playing with it and sanding it back. But I will show you the actual stuff I've been using to do all this work, which is I've got some El Cheapo Chinese lapidary stuff, like a little diamond saw, a flat lap sort of, well, it's actually a lapidary for cutting gemstones with a tower and all, but I've made up my own sort of flat lap wheels, and I've made them out of old CDs, and I stick down basically wet and dry sandpaper of multiple different types of grits. I've got to get some cerium oxide to finish these off, but anyway, I thought I'd let you see. But this is the bucket, and it's got a bit of material still in it that I've still got to work. A little chunk of opal on the corner there, a little shard of it, and that one there. I don't think there's going to be much through that rock, but I will cut that slab off and try and clean it up and make it into a piece of jewellery. Anyway, thought I'd leave it there and see how we go. Okay, and this is my El Cheapo gemstone cutter. There's a flexible drill drive that goes on here with all your bits for grinding, polishing, variable speed controller, on-off switch. But it has a tiny little diamond blade here. And I've also used a bigger blade that comes off sort of a diamond saw for cutting tiles and bricks and stuff. But that's a very fine blade. That's what I've been using to cut the opal. You don't need the most expensive equipment if you just want to learn and have a play. But yeah, it does work. This is a jerry-rigged up piece for a sauce bottle with a hose that goes in here to feed the water so it doesn't splash everywhere. There's also a little tray that goes in underneath here to catch whatever's cut and fallen through. Anyway, cheap, nasty, but it's doing the job for me. Cheers. This is my El Cheapo Chinese Vivor flat lap lapidary machine. It does have a tower here for faceting gemstones, but I mainly use this as a flat lap. That's a diamond disc, mainly for polishing. It's very fine, but I've made my own little laps to go on top, which is made out of CDs, old CDs, and I use wet and dry sandpaper, and I stick it down in various different grits. And this one's just about worn out from cutting up those opals the other day. But very cheap to make, and you just stick them on top, bolt them down, and they work quite well. This machine's not too bad. It's El Cheapo, but it's doing what I require at this stage, and this is purely just to sand and shape the stones. Opal's not that heavy, so it's not like a diamond, it's not that hard, so they tend to be working quite well with this. And yeah, got to get a buff wheel, got to get a little piece of leather to put on there and get some cerium oxide to actually polish the opals once they're cooked again and change colour again. But just thought you might be interested in what I'm using to shape these opals. Okay, cheers.